Hello and welcome back to the next video in the How to Do Scratch series. In today's video, you'll be making your very first game. If you enjoy making games, hit that like button. And if you want to become the Scratch Master, smash that subscribe button along with the bell. Now let's get started. Just like usual, we're actually going to go to scratch.mit.edu. Could have guessed that. And you can also bookmark it up here like I have right here. And right now we're going to talk about this tab real quick. See, this is the messages tab. This is where you receive all messages. Like if you follow for example, a studio, or if you follow a person, you'll get everything they do right here. And if you reply to a comment and someone else replies, you'll get those. So let's create another project. So first, let's just talk about what the game's about. Now, I'm going to show it on screen right now. So, there's a little dot following you around at all times. And when you click, it'll draw. Just like this. But if you don't want that color, you press the right arrow to change the color. And the left arrow just to change it minus, and then up arrow to change the size, and then down arrow to change it back. And then C to clear. That's simple. But you may not think it's simple, but this is actually really simple. You'll see as we make the project. Now, you're probably like, how do I make a game? I don't think I'm ready for this. Well, you are. I'm going to tell you the 3 steps. Step 1, you brainstorm. Brainstorm the idea that you want to do. Like, for example, for this game, I brainstormed that I wanted to make a game where I write down something, or write down notes. And I decided, instead of writing down notes, maybe I could be a drawing game. As you brainstorm, your ideas will change. So, after you're done brainstorming the idea, and you've got an idea that you want to stick with, then you do step 2. You sketch it. You sketch it so you don't forget it. Like, sketch it on a computer by using Microsoft Word, or Windows Notes, or even just on regular old paper. And then, after you sketch it, it's time to create it. And once you create it, then that's all the steps. So, now let's go really in depth on the steps. Creating, you know what that is. And remember, make sure to write it down. That's like the most important step of all. Once you brainstorm it, you have to write it down. Because what if you brainstorm it, and then you're tired, you go to bed, wake up, and then you forget this awesome idea that could make you billions of dollars. Now let's get started. Now let's create the sprite. Now see this cat sprite? We're not going to use this cat sprite, so click this trash can on top of it, the sprite. And now let's hover over this cat icon, bottom right corner. And now let's go up to the paintbrush thing, and you click it, and it'll make a new sprite and take it here. Right here in the sprite, let's name it something. Let's name it Dot, because this dot is going to draw it. You could also name it Pencil, or just whatever you like best. Now let's kind of zoom in a little. Let's zoom in, and now see this. If you hover over this circle tool, it'll say circle, because it's a circle tool. See right now? You can make different kinds of circles, but if you hold shift, it'll make a perfect. So, just drag out and hold shift to make a perfect circle. Let's just make it pretty big for now. And see the blue plus, put the blue plus right on the middle right here. And it'll kind of align itself. Now let's press the equal sign down there. So, make sure you don't draw. Go select this mouse tool right here. And let's select this. And again, holding shift, we make it a little bit smaller. And if you hold shift and it does this, there is a chance it'll do that. Sometimes it does. Don't hold shift if it does that. Now let's make it really small. Now let's move it right into the middle. And see, all you see is black, so we're going to fill with black too. We're going to make the brightness 0. Saturation and color don't really matter. Just make the brightness 0, and same for this. Brightness 0, these two don't matter. Now, we have the sprite. Now it's time to create the game. Now let's go back to this code tab. And let's look in our workspace. As you see, there is nothing at all. So first, let's go into the events category and get a when green flag clicked. We're going to drag that inside there. And then we're going to get a go-to block. We're going to put a go-to mouse pointer. And see, if you click the green flag, it'll go to mouse pointer. But of course it can go all the way up to the green flag, because you know you can't see up there. But we want it to follow the mouse, right? So here's what you do. You go to the control and drag the forever loop. And we talked about both of these blocks in the Scratch Basics video. That's the video before this. Now, I'll put the link in the cards above. So look in the top corner and you'll see the link to the Scratch Basics video if you didn't get to watch that. If you did, that's great. So now, let's get back to the code. Now, if you click the green flag, it'll follow the mouse. That's really like the coolest things. When I started coding, I didn't know about this, and then once I first found out, I thought it was so cool. Now, let's make some more code. Now, we said we wanted to paint, right? If you look through motion all the way to my blocks, you'll see nothing that does any painting. We'll be using this blue button in the corner over here. See, it's an extension. See, if you hover over and just leave your mouse there, it'll say add extension. Let's click that. There's a lot of extensions. Click the pen extension. And new blocks will pop up in a new category. And then there's a lot of stuff you can do, like video sensing is a good one, and music, but these are all like more advanced, especially text-to-speech. So for now, all we're going to be using is pen and motion, really. Now stop the project. And now, staying in the pen category, for now, let's just actually go to events. We need to add a couple when green flag clicks. And now let's do when green flag clicked. We're gonna drag this pin up. Pin up means it won't draw, and it's gonna erase all, which means it's gonna clear out the whole board. I put one too many. So now when green flag clicked, we're gonna set pin size to 1 in case we increase the pin size, which we're gonna write that code a little bit later. And now, so remember to stay to the end. And then forever, this is gonna repeat forever. Don't drag this if loop. See this? Don't use that. And drag this if else loop inside the forever. And if it drags here, if it like drags on the side, that does not work. We have to make sure it's inside. So if blank, then it'll do this. And if this is not true, it'll go to the else. That's what an if else does. So if mouse is down, which means if mouse is clicking, like if you click the mouse, that's the mouse down, then it's gonna do pin down. Else, pin is gonna be up. So when I click, well, for this we have to go to full screen. When I click, it'll draw, but when I let go, it won't draw. See, if pin is down, which it is, it'll draw, but if pin is not down, it'll do this. That's basically what it's saying, the if else loop. So we got our base game. Now we're gonna add a very simple thing. We're gonna do the when space key press, but it's not gonna be space. Click this little down arrow, and let's do if C key pressed. It's gonna basically clear it all, but erase all block in the pin category. Now let's say you drew a masterpiece, and then you want to draw more. You press the C button, and it'll clear all. If it doesn't, make sure to check your code and make sure it's correct. Now for the next one, we're gonna right click this, and then you'll see options. We're gonna duplicate it. So we're gonna do a when left arrow key pressed, and then we're gonna right click duplicate that when right arrow key pressed. So there'll be a left arrow and a right arrow, which you'll find those on your keyboard if you have a keyboard with left, right, up, down. If you don't have a keyboard with like up, down, left, right, which some people don't, it's okay, because you can just use like left is A, right is D, up is W, and then down is S, which you probably know that as WASD. Now, we're not going to erase all with left or right arrow key press, so let's drag those away and put them in the trash. We're going to change pin color. Let's drag this here, and the left arrow key press is going to do -5, because -10 does it much too quick. And we're going to do it there. Now let's go to full screen and test it out. And now if we hold the right arrow key in, it'll just do this. Or you can just press it again and just change the color. And as you can see, it's a little bit blurry because it's not like vector graphics, which I'll tell you what vector graphics are, and I'll more explain it in depth in a later video, but they're basically just higher quality images. Now we've done that, but there's 2 more things. We need to do when up arrow, duplicate that, and when down arrow. So let's make this an up arrow. Let's make this a down arrow. We're going to go back to the pin, and we're going to trash these, and we're going to change pin size. When up arrow, it's going to change it by 1. When down arrow, it's going to change it by -1. And it can't go to negatives. It'll just change it to -1. Like, let's say it's at 1 right now, because it starts out as 1. If you press the down arrow, it doesn't make it any smaller. If you press the up, of course it makes it bigger. And then you press it down, it'll just make it smaller. Back to the size it was at the beginning. And just so you know, later in the series, we're going to make a My Sketchbook 2.0 if you want to. So in the comments below, tell me if you want to see that video. If you do, I'll make it. If you don't, I won't, because I don't make videos that you don't like. Now, our game is almost finished. Next, we're going to add a little bit of fun code in. This is going to be my most favorite part of the whole entire thing. When R key press, which we're going to use the R key basically as a random key, it's going to make pin down. It's going to erase all. And then forever, it's going to go to random position. And watch as it goes. Let's say you drew some, but you want to draw more. You press R, and it'll do that. Which, as you can see, we have to put this pin down in the forever loop. And it'll do it forever. As you can see, I'm going to show you what troubleshooting is. As you can see, this is not working properly. As you can see, it follows your mouse basically. It's like it goes to a random position and it comes back to the mouse. Now I did this on purpose to show you that you do make problems. I make problems, you make problems. There's always going to be bugs in your code until you perfect it. Which in regular coding, there's always going to be bugs in the game. And when you're making a simple game like this, there's not really any bugs, but once you get like in the in-depth games, there's going to be a lot. So see the stop all block in the control category? You drag it in. In this down arrow, we're going to stop other scripts in this sprite. We're going to drag this to the top. And now if you press the green flag and press R, it should work. You can put your mouse all the way over here, and it always goes to a random position. And there's a code already inside Scratch where if it touches the edge, it can't go past the edge. So that's why there's not a lot at the edge, because it doesn't want to go near the edge, and then it just bounces back. So, you just made your own very first project. Now, for this, I really recommend logging in. So, here's basically a summary of what we did. We used an extension called Pin, and you made your own project using a sprite, and if it follows mouse pointer, it'll pin down, and if not, pin up, and it just left, right, up, down arrows change the size and color. That's basically what we did. Now, an important thing. You really recommend logging in or making games. If you log in, you have a lot more capabilities. You can press File, you can save it, you can name your project and share, just like I did in the Scratch Basics video. Talked about that. And you can press this button to also go to My Stuff, or you can press this and press Go to My Stuff. That's where to list all your games that you made. Which you may be making a lot, or you just be making to follow the tutorials that I do. Which for now, I'm making a video about every other day or so. But once I get enough videos on my channel, I'm going to do it every Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Now, I'm going to name this My Sketchbook. And make sure this is named and your sprites are named. And what I like doing is right-clicking and pressing clean up blocks, and they'll all be in a nice and neat list. If you don't like that list, you can just drag them out. Now I'm going to save my project, and then you're finished. Thanks for doing this. Now, before you leave, make sure to like this video if you want to see more of this series, and subscribe if you want to become a scratch master. Now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.